So we're back in my childhood home and it's moving day. We're actually headed soon to sign final papers and get everything closed, and so we're so excited. We're moving in today. Everything just wrapped yesterday. This is kind of phase one, part two, the culmination of everything that you saw in the last vlog, and so I wanted to show you some of the things we did, explain some of our reasoning behind our choices, and talk a little bit about the creativity that you have to use when you are doing a renovation because you have certain constraints. So last time we showed you how we have started to brighten up the space, where we took off the blinds, we took off some wallpaper, and we've gone really, really white on the walls. So I'm going to show you the colors that we've done. We went with a pure white by Sherwin-Williams, and then I went with a color called Alabaster from Sherwin-Williams on the trim, because the windows in this house have this kind of almond colored vinyl. My parents replaced these windows recently. They're gorgeous, they're triple pane, they're really, really nice, and so obviously that would be ridiculous to replace them. Taylor and I love white, and so obviously in our last house we did white walls and we did white trim and white vinyl windows. That wasn't an option, and when you're doing a renovation you have to kind of push your creativity a little bit. So I started looking around at images and I started finding that a lot of people will do a little bit of a warmer trim with a white wall, and I actually really like how it looks. I think it gives you a little bit more depth and texture when you're dealing with a lot of white. So I did the pure white and the alabaster, and I really like, it's very subtle, but I like how it just warms it up slightly, and then that kind of blends into that almond a little bit. So I think in my ideal world, I would love to see this black just for that pop and that contrast, but I think that this is going to work really well. I also wanted to show you the beams that we had installed. I talked a little bit about that last time. So we did faux beams, this beautiful beam all going up this whole, remember this used to be a living room and now it's a dining room. And then we brought this beam all the way up to cross with the existing beam that was there. That beam was there, and if you remember, it was a little bit skinnier and it was a little bit lighter brown. And so we went ahead and they wrapped it so that it could match exactly the other cross beam. And we just love how it looks. I think that the contrast makes a really high impact, and I think it works really well for this kind of late 70s with the slope ceiling, and I really like how the cedar planks looked painted out. Since we did so much white, I wanted some really big high contrast moments. Obviously the beams provide a lot of that. Also, I decided to go black on a couple of doors. So we used Black Magic from Sherwin-Williams. We went with a satin finish on that, and I really, really like it. On the walls we used kind of your standard eggshell and then semi-gloss on the trim, but I really like the satin that we chose for the black. So this is the original door, which I love. I love the texture of it and the really cool shapes. Obviously the new fixtures are coming, but I really love that. And then we also did black over here. This is that den you remember. Originally it had the double doors that were solid brown, and so we removed those. I wanted light to go all the way through here. So we got these French doors, and then we went ahead and painted that out too in that Black Magic, and I love how that turned out. I think that looks like such a nice high contrast moment. So another thing that we did that isn't that expensive but makes a really high impact is that we went ahead and changed all of the hardware on the doors, the doorknobs and the hinges. We didn't replace the doors. We just thought it could be more efficient to just go ahead and paint those out, so we did that same alabaster that we used on the trim, and then we changed out all the old hardware, and we really love the difference that it makes. So it's a nice black, it's just Kwikset, and it's the Halifax style. So it's kind of got that really clean line, that mod look, and it's solid black so that it gives you that really nice contrast with the white. So you can kind of see that, especially in this upstairs hallway where we have the most doors. The last big thing that we did was change a lot of light fixtures. We needed more light, and then we wanted to kind of get all the light fixtures back to looking like the original fixtures that were in the house. So we left a lot of original fixtures, and I'll show some of those to you probably on a different vlog as we talk about the way that we tried to marry some of the new things we did with the old. But today I just want to show you all the new fixtures that we got, and you can tell that I'm really kind of pulling from that late 70s Pacific Northwest style. You see a lot of brass, which is what was in here originally, and then you'll see like a lot of kind of globy type fixtures. So we have these sconces up here, which I love. There's one here and around on this wall because there wasn't very much light in this upstairs area. And then you can see our amazing Luna pendant from Schoolhouse, which I just think is so perfect coming off this beam in the entry. And then I'm really happy with the fixture we did in the dining room. I think that the scale of that is perfect for that huge slope ceiling. So that's kind of the end of this big phase one that we wanted to do. We've made a huge impact just with the paint and some of the new fixtures, a lot of light, and we're really excited. We get to move in today, get to see how our furniture looks in the space, kind of figure out what we want to do next. We have a lot of big ideas. We have big ideas for kitchen and bathrooms and all sorts of stuff we want to do in the yard, and I'm excited to kind of continue this vlog throughout that, and we'll get to see what we do, what we prioritize. We'll show you some different DIYs. But this is kind of the end of the first phase, and we're super excited to move in and start our new life here.